Topping today's news, just 17 days into the new year and the country records its 7th homicide, a 29-year-old male being questioned by police in the death of a 3-year-old baby girl. Immigration Minister responds to claims of a shanty town on Paradise Island, and distributors of various alcoholic beverages say their rights are being infringed. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jcn Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. It's a pleasure to have you join us. A man was shot and killed during the early hours this morning while on his way to work and becomes the country's 7th homicide victim for the year. Police were alerted to the area of Gibbs Lane and Infant View Road shortly after 7 a.m. via ShotSpotter technology. There they found the body of the victim riddled with bullets still in his vehicle. Here is Police Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings with more on that shooting.
Preliminary reports thus far suggest that the victim was traveling west along Infant View Road when he was reportedly cut off by another vehicle. It is reported that the culprit fired gunshots at the victim in his vehicle, and subsequently he died as a result of the injuries sustained. At this time, we wish to make an appeal to members of the public who may have been in this area, who may have seen, have heard, or heard something prior to this. We're asking you to kindly reach out to the Office of the Criminal Investigation Department and provide them with the relevant information they need in order to bring this matter to a quick closure.
According to Chief Superintendent Skippings, the man was known to police, and while officers were not able to disclose his identity, family members on the scene identified him as 33-year-old Dominic Daniel Berry, a.k.a. Brooke, a father of 3. His mother, who was in tears, acknowledges that her son had a checkered past but was now on the right path to turning his life around.
In his younger days, in all honesty, he had a past. But for many years, he's reformed, he's refined to be an excellent father. Excellent father. I am astonished to see how good he is to his children. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I just rode with him yesterday, and he took me to dropped me to work, picked me up, took me to the store. I just saw a different person yesterday.
The mother said her son was headed to his construction job at a hotel in western New Providence. Prior to this incident, Abaco recorded its first homicide for 2023 after a 28-year-old male was gunned down. Prior to this incident, Abaco recorded its first homicide for 2023 after a 28-year-old male was gunned down at a residence in Bahama Coral sometime around 6:30 p.m. on Monday. Chief Superintendent Skippings telling us more about that homicide as well.
The victim had recently pulled up to his residence in Bahama Coral when he was approached by a lone gunman who reportedly shot him multiple times to the body. The victim was pronounced dead by the local doctor on the island, and hence again we are appealing to residents within that particular community of Abaco who may have seen or heard anything. We're told that the suspect or the suspects left the area in a dark-colored Japanese vehicle. So anyone who may have been in that area around 6:30 p.m. on Monday, the 16th of January, we are asking you to speak with our police officers on the island of Abaco so that we can bring this matter to a closure within a relatively short period of time.
Police are appealing to members of the public who may have any information on this matter to please contact them at Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. That's 328-8477. Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a baby girl. The incident reportedly occurred around 11 a.m. on Monday. According to preliminary reports, the child was in the care of a family friend while her mother was at work. It is reported that the family friend believed the baby was asleep, but after a short while noticed the child was unresponsive. The infant was then transported to the hospital via private vehicle. Doctors attempted to render medical assistance but confirmed no vital signs of life. Now, as injuries were observed to the face of the 3-month-old baby girl, the 29-year-old male friend was arrested and is assisting police with their investigations. An autopsy will be performed to determine the exact cause of death. Investigations continue. Immigration and Labor Minister Keith Bell fighting back claims from the leader of the Coalition of Independents, COI, Mr. Lincoln Bain, after a video circulated social media of Mr. Bain visiting and speaking with residents at a villa on Paradise Island. The COI leader alleges these are illegal immigrants. Mr. Bain today brought those claims to the office of the Prime Minister during a protest, asserting that he went to the homes on the invitation of neighbors of those residents whom he says are highly concerned and annoyed.
They did property valuation of their properties, and those cottages are valued at $400,000. And because of what is happening, it is devaluing them. They have claimed to be victims of their electricity being stolen and other things going on, of their vehicles being around there. And so if someone invites me to a place, how could I be in violation? If I knock on a door and ask someone to speak, and they welcome me and speak to me and answer my questions, how could I be in violation of their rights? I have a right to ask questions. I call on the media to start doing real reporting. What that woman said to me was that they had a special police they were told to call to come deal with this. So when we live in a country where a woman who admits to be an illegal immigrant says that she has police at the beck and call, I don't see any police come to me and say an illegal immigrant go on them. They said that I was trespassing on the property they was trespassing on. Bring the police.
That's right. And we have good
so we can know who he is.
In response, just before the weekly cabinet meeting, Minister Bell told reporters that Mr. Bain's claims are absolutely nonsense. He also showed media a video of him visiting the home with officers as he debunked Mr. Bain's claims.
And let me indicate, I want to make one statement here, that it is being reported by Lincoln Bain that there is a shanty town, for example, on Paradise Island. There is no such shanty town on Paradise Island. And those persons there are here documented. The individuals were born in the Bahamas and they've made application. I will say a whole lot more about it. But as Bahamians, we have to ensure that when we speak about matters related to immigration, it's a domino effect. It cuts across other areas. So for instance, you'll recall a number of years, we have had several other challenges on Paradise Island for which the Bahamas have had, it took us a number of years to recover. And so now you're talking about this shanty town on Paradise Island, which, as we all would appreciate, could impact our country economically.
Minister Bell is calling on all right-thinking Bahamians and the media to be more responsible in its reporting when people make accusations. The minister says he will have more to say on the matter on Wednesday during his communication in the House of Assembly. While there are some hiccups, the Gladstone Road Improvement Project, now into its third week of paving, things are progressing steadily, according to General Manager of Bahamics, Ryan Ramming. Mr. Ramming explained that those hiccups are usually during the paving when having to allow business owners and their employees access to that area being paved. Earlier this month, the Ministry of Works and Utilities announced that improvements would begin on the Gladstone Road corridor from Carmichael Road to John F. Kennedy Drive. However, Mr. Ramming noted that repairs will be done from Rubis Gas Station at the northern end of Gladstone Road to Carmichael Road at the southern end. He says despite the hiccups, works which is being done in phases is moving more smoothly than anticipated and expected to soon reach the halfway mark just beyond Fire Trail Road. The rent-to-own housing program, A Place to Call Home, which was announced in October last year, is well on its way, with the Ministry of Housing looking towards using more family island properties due to New Providence having only a small number of lots scattered across the island. Speaking with reporters on the pilot project, Minister of Transport and Housing, Jobeth Kobe Davis, says it is a good start to the year for housing.
The islands will be using, and we have some homes in Abaco that we will be transitioning into our rent-to-own. We had a little bit of technical things that we had to sort out, and so I think we should be speaking more to that in the same first quarter of this year. And we're looking to get more access to land, some piece of property in Grand Bahama we're looking at. So we're speaking with the Port Authority and acquiring some of that. and we'll be advancing our housing agenda in Grand Bahama. But we're going pretty well in Abaco. So I think we're gonna have a good year, be a good start to the year.
As for the specific parameters surrounding the program in its pilot phase, the housing minister says they are conducting a final review of the agreement, making sure everything is in line for a legal standpoint.
So that we make sure we were in line, we're speaking with the AG office to assist with advising us to make sure the agreement protects the occupant, but also has a good, clear guidance of the next steps for the government in our relationship with the rent-to-own occupants. And so we kind of settled it last year, but we want to be sure that we have our IT, our website, our staff, and everything ready in position for when it starts. And we have a few applications that already came in on the website that launched in November. And so we're reviewing it, and then once we are at the place where we're going to be taking them into the homes and assigning the rent-to-own homes, we will be looking to have their financial classes started, which housing will also be assisting them to be more financially responsible. So it's a program that we'll be running. It's pilot, so we're hoping it's successful so that we can continue to expand it in the Bahamas.
And finally, in this segment, Customs Department has issued a cease and desist warning to people selling alcoholic beverages in violation of distribution rights. This coming after Customs Controller Ralph Monroe says wholesale distributors have claimed that some beers, wines, and spirits, which are being sold illegally on the local market, is under their sole right for distributorship.
We say it here at this press conference so that those persons who have run afoul of the law and may have imported them, whether they were smuggled or whether they did so simply without the permission, because it's an intellectual property that the sole distributorship have, we're saying to them to cease and desist. That is an area that Customs is going to pursue vigorously. Lots of bears, we understand, that are out there, and the sole distributor have informed us that it didn't come through there. There are other hard alcoholic liquor that are out there, and they have informed us that they're not responsible for them being in the country.
While Mr. Monroe is not suggesting that duty was not paid on the items, however, he says companies that have intellectual property for certain products have a right to guard what they own.
It is their property, and we have a duty as a department to protect that property. And so all persons who may have run afoul of the law in that regard, we are putting them on warning that the Customs Department will be coming after you. After all, we are a country of laws.
Speculation has surfaced that many of the Chinese-owned liquor stores, as well as some Bahamian-owned liquor stores, may be in violation of the distribution rights. Meanwhile, Mr. Monroe advises anyone who may have any questions or concerns about distribution rights to contact the Customs Department. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.